Hello everyone and welcome back to this special series on the struggles of women in the Great Lakes region. In this episode, the Sankofa now lands in Kenya. Enjoy the messages from Kenyan fighters for gender equality.
African History Daily by my daddy.
Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Joy Modhani Gitao. I am a Kenyan citizen. I'm 22 years old. I'm a lawyer by profession and a certified mediator. I am currently working at a non-governmental organization called Amani Communities Africa. So we're an organization that empower people to practice peace inside out. I'm passionate about very many things, especially from a human rights perspective. I really am one of those people that really believes that every person in this society has something to offer. Thank you.
My name is Kerituk from Mother Goose, Kenya.
My name is Kennedy Walusala, the ICGLR Youth Representative for Kenya and member of the National Steering Committee on Women, Peace and Security in Kenya.
Hi, my name is Joy Kendi. I'm a graduate from the University of Nairobi and I was a student of international relations. I've also had 6 months of experience in interning for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Office of the Great Lakes region.
What has been your role in this long struggle for gender equality since the Beijing Declaration in 1995?
In my role in the struggle for gender equality, I must say that I've really been active. I have participated in a lot of policy-making forums, the most recent one being the second generation National Action Plan on Resolution 1325 from the UN Security Council. I have also participated in a lot of legal awareness forums that have empowered women to actually understand their rights, hence promoting gender equality. I have also taken part in a lot of leadership positions that have exposed me to actually understand gender equality better, and I have just taken the forefront in that. I've also participated in a lot of mentorship programs for both young women and younger women and trainings for women with regard to gender equality. Yes.
Tina Olo, Kenya.
I see my role in the struggle in the area of economic empowerment of women because I believe as women are economically empowered, then they are able to rise to leadership roles.
Our role since 2013, when the organization started, has been to empower women through childcare and also by giving them skills to get employment. In our struggle for the gender equality, yes, we have been ensuring that many young women who do not have jobs that get employment skills, and we are able to connect them with the employers. On the other side, for the career women, we are able to give them good childcare options, which enable them to balance work and family, and they can concentrate for their in their work so that they can excel in their career.
I've been involved in this process for the past 10 years. And it's important to note that this has been a very long struggle for gender equality since the Beijing Declaration in 1995. You find that the number of women who are in position of power at that time were very few in this country compared to the current equation. Looking at how this has been, I have my sisters and brothers, my aunties, my mother, all the women that have influenced, have had a lot of influence in my life in regard to ensuring that all goes well. That is why I felt that I should play a big role in also championing and advocating for their rights.
I can't say that I've done a lot since the year 1995, since I was only born in the year 1996. All I can say though is that I have tried to do the little I could to advance the goals of equality and development of women in our community. This includes trying to be a role model to my younger sister and other girls around home and in church by showing them that they can chase their own dreams through chasing my own. I've also talked to a few girls going through harassment and depression and letting them know that they too have a voice and they can overcome every challenge that they face.
With regard to African countries, in particular your country, what conclusion do you draw?
In Kenya, we have still a long way to go, although we're seeing great strides have been made when it comes to women accessing education. However, the belief, I believe, lies with us as women. We need to believe that we are the change that we need in Kenya so that we can rise up to the positions that have been made available for us legally. We can't have 30% quotas being set aside for women and women not then taking the stand and accessing these positions that have been made available for them. So women need to have a deep belief system that we can lead and we can do things different. We can be the change that is required within Kenya and within our countries. Once that belief system sets in, then we are unstoppable. So I would encourage more and more ladies to step up to the positions that have been placed by the government for them in areas of economic growth, in areas of political leadership, and really go into those positions and be the change that is required, and to raise another sister, raise another woman when you're in that position so that they can take over when you're gone.
I can say Kenya is still far from achieving the gender equality. One, politically, which is included in the constitution, that half of the parliamentary seats should be for women, which is not yet realized till now. So on the other side, about the careers, for example, like architect, engineers, the male-dominated career, the women are still far from filling these positions, and it's because one lies deep in our culture that women cannot perform certain duties or cannot take certain careers, so they're still seen as men careers. So the traditions and the male superstitions, makes it still impossible for Kenya to have gender equality or to realize the gender equality.
It has not been a very, very easy struggle, bearing in mind that we come from an African society whereby leadership is only men. But with our country, Kenya, there's been a lot of progress since 1995, because you realize that after the Beijing Declaration, a number of women were elevated to key positions in government, including them being ministers. Secondly, you find that we have quite a number of women who are in position of, we have the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who is a lady. The Minister of Defense is a lady in this country. And this is something that has never happened since independence. So to us, it's really a plus for Kenya in terms of bringing the women, to elevating the women to this position. And then secondly, you find that even in the judiciary, we have quite a number of women who are in the decision making in terms of being the Supreme Court judges, the Appeal Court judges, the judges of the High Court. And if you look at Parliament, we have quite a number of women. We have actually women representatives from the counties that represent their counties, at the same time those who have been nominated and also elected as at constituency level. So this is a really great progress. In regard to the counties also, we have women who are elected as governors. We have the governor of Kirinyaga, who is a lady, and we have the governor of Kitui, who is a lady. These are not very easy positions for you to get. But all that said, there's still more to be done, because the constitution is very clear in terms of 2/3 gender rule, which we are yet to achieve as a country, and yet we have to do so much on it.
What are the reasons for the delays and remaining issues?
A lot of factors have actually stifled the attainment of gender equality in Kenya. For example, the lack of political will. Take, for example, the 2/3 gender rule that has taken so long to be passed in Parliament, that women actually have to march around with headscarves in Parliament for them to actually try and pass it, which they have honestly not been as successful. There's also a lot of the cultures that people are holding on to that will not allow, gender equality, where a man and a woman would be seen to be capable of, achieving the same kind of things, which is still considered as taboo. So such things, among others, are the things that are really stifling the process, are really delaying the attainment of gender equality in this country.
I would say the largest area of need is really in people who work within these institutions understanding that women do business different, and therefore some of the requirements that have been set aside, for us to access funds are really favor men. For example, taking a loan where you need land as a security. And we know it's just in the recent years that women, especially in Kenya, have legally been allowed to inherit land from their parents. So, of course, if I don't have a title deed, then I don't have access to the finance that I require in order for me to grow my business. So there seems to be just a lack of goodwill to do away with some of the requirements for women to, earn finance. Some of the learning institutions look at women as high risk because they do not have collateral. But if they were able to look at women in terms of our characters and our lending portfolios, the fact that we repay 90% of our loans, and instead use that as a gauge as to whether we would then be able to access funding, then we would see more and more women being able to get funds in order to grow their enterprises.
So, of course, the reason delaying this is, as per my perception, is lying deep in the culture that male are better than female.
My country is a very beautiful country which is blessed with many resources and opportunities. The biggest challenge we have, however, is corruption, which has been hindering opportunities for growth and development. Many young people have, as a result, become jobless, and people are tamaking for job opportunities, even having graduated from the university, and most people have spent years being jobless and still looking for jobs. Among this group are young ladies, and these young ladies have as a result ended up in early pregnancies and also early marriages.
How do you see the future of the rights of African women and in your country?
Final thoughts. I feel like this is not an issue that only women should fight for. Men should also fight for women's equality, because as a man, if you fight for women's equality, you're fighting for your children, you're fighting for your grandchildren, you're fighting for future generations, and you are a part of a company of people that will ultimately bring change, because every man has a mother and every man will have a grandchild or a child at some point. We are all connected, and I feel like it's not fair for women to get low pay if they're doing the same work that a man is doing, and women need to be treated equally. There is nothing wrong with that. Women need to have their voice heard, and they have to get what they deserve, not get less just because of their gender.
Our future for the rights of women in Kenya is that we are hopefully, first of all, from the law, that in the next more to 10 years or so, that more women are going to enter into politics and also take the career meant for men. Of the other side, I can also say that it's good to see in entrepreneurship that many women have started business, are doing business, and even it's said that the economy of Kenya is lying in the hands of women. So in the side of entrepreneurship, I can say women are really doing good, but for the career, it's really not that 50-50 for women. So many of the careers are still male dominated.
In regard to the future of women in this country, I'll say it is really bright if we worked together by reminding the policymakers that the women should also occupy these spaces as contained in our constitution of the 2/3 gender rule.
Do you have a final word to the podcast listeners?
All I want to say is I just want to wish each one of you a happy International Women's Day, to all the women out there. And yeah, I would also want to encourage both men and women to actually just take the forefront in ensuring that SDG 5 is something that becomes a reality. It's something that will become achievable, and that we will continue to support each other moving forward. All the best.
My final word to the podcasters is to say that, first of all, let's stop this culture of male are better than female. I usually say that tradition is good if it bears fruit. And if the tradition is really discriminating women into achieving better or good things in life, then I think we should stop that, because we have seen places where women have taken the male career and they have really succeeded. So I'll say, let's support women in whatever they do, and even as parents who have girl child, let's raise that child as the way we could have raised a male child. So let's support women, because women are really nowadays the backbone of many economies in Africa. Thank you.
And then to the listeners, this is a struggle that can never end. Let's keep on fighting, because the issue of women, peace and security, and the issue of gender-based violence is still increasing in our continent, and much needs to be done. So we must promote and support our women, and even become the advocates for the proper inclusion in decision making. Thank you very much.
Thank you for taking your time to listen to me. I enjoyed talking about women empowerment, and especially liked it when I explained what I've tried to do to empower young girls. Thank you for listening.
My African cliché of the day is a great African woman rights fighter, Huda Sha'arawi. She created the first Egyptian Philanthropic Society for Women, in addition to being the founder and head of the Egyptian Feminist Union. When she wasn't representing Egypt internationally at women's conferences, she also made time to found a school for girls and implement woman-run social services. She's one of the most outspoken and unapologetic Egyptian women in recent history. Despite all her accomplishments, she refused to be singled out as Egyptian. Here is what she said on that topic. Men have singled out women of outstanding merit and put them on a pedestal to avoid recognizing the capabilities of all women. Have a nice day and see you again on board soon.